everybody. How are you guys? Awesome. My name is Carlin. I will be giving you the commentary and driving the boat down. If you forget my name, it is right here. So you can cheat, look at my sweatshirt, and I'll never know the difference. So, number of safety things to go over before we can leave. We're a U.S. Coast Guard inspected vessel, so number of safety things on board. Life preservers are overhead, and then underneath your seats, there's a little shelf. Child life preservers are the right-hand side above you. We have a life ring, a life sling, a life raft, and a man overboard crane. If somebody should happen to fall off this boat, we will get you back on the boat. We have been operating since 1938, though, and never had to use any of that safety equipment, so we'll keep that going today. In the event that something might happen, just listen to myself. I'll give you instructions. The windows can double as emergency exits, and we will push together, pulled up, and thrown into the lake. We won't demo that because they will sink and then just pulled out there. But I will demo how to put on a life preserver, so fashion show for you guys. You just spread the wings, going over your head, long dangly straps around your back. You're gonna flip it, tighten it, lift. Anybody want me to do it again? No? Okay. No smoking or firearms permitted on the vessel. It's a wooden boat. Those don't mix very well. And the last thing I have for you is, if you would like to come outside while I'm driving, you are welcome to do so. Just wait till I get away from the dock and turn the boat, and then you can come up there and keep it to 4 people. If you've got little ones that want to go, please go with them. And if you can stay off the stairs for me, that's kind of a danger zone, and that's where I need to see. So, don't want to go on the stairs. Any questions on safety stuff before we go? No? Okay. Well, let's get out of here then. First thing to point out while we've got good views are the 2 little brown buildings there at the end of the lake. So we've got that one with the green roof. That's the boathouse of the Cinema, and that's the original boathouse built by the maker of the boats here, Captain Billy Swanson, who's a Kalispell native, and that was built in 1936. This boat was built 10 years before that, 1926, so that means the boat is 90 years old. A very old boat, very cool boat. It's the oldest one in our fleet around the park. So, good choice in riding the Cinema today. The little house there with the yellow trim on it, that is where we all get to live, the boat captains. And that's one of the original chalets that were here right along the edge of the lake in the early days of the park. So 1910 is when the park was designated, and shortly thereafter, the Great Northern Railway invested a lot of money in all the lodging around here. Because if you wanted to come to the park in the early days, you had to ride the train out here. You'd end up in a place like East Glacier, and then you would be spending about 2 weeks with your new best friend, your horse. And that's how you're going to get from different spots in the park. So you would ride over a mountain pass. When you got to that pass, the wrangler with the horses would ring a bell at that pass to alert all the folks down here working how many beds they needed to make and how many plates of dinner to have ready. And then they would ride over the pass, end up here in Two-Med, spend a couple nights, and head out to the next location. So did anybody find the camp store yet? Find coffee or candy or souvenirs yet? It's that bigger brown building that is slightly behind us on our right now. And that's the original dining hall. So that's where they were riding over, and that's where those plates of dinner were being cooked up. So pretty cool building, really historic as well. There's a fun story about Franklin D. Roosevelt coming in 1934 and giving one of his fireside chats there from the fireplace. And he was supposed to stay the night, but ended up being ushered out back to the train to head out. But before all was said and done, his wife went for a little swim into Medicine Lake, which, has anybody felt the lake? It's pretty cold. The lake's pretty cold, so it's probably in the mid-40s or getting to the higher 40s, but yeah, pretty brave lady. I don't know if I'm ready for swimming in that lake yet. It'll get 50, low 50s. It'll never get too warm, yeah. So switching gears a little bit, we're going to start looking at this big mountain off of our right-hand side, and that is Rising Wolf. We'll be passing Rising Wolf for the remainder of the tour. It's massive in size. It is our largest mountain in mass in the entire park. So the footprint that Rising Wolf leaves behind is the largest out of any mountain. So it's not the tallest. We have 7 peaks in the park that are over 10,000 feet, and Rising Wolf is 9,500. So it's a pretty standard height comparatively to our mountains, but its mass is very great. Lake level here is 5,200 feet, so it is still quite a ways above us. Rising Wolf has some pretty cool stories associated with it and how it got its name and in relation to the other mountains. So you'll find that almost everything into Medicine has relation to the Blackfeet Native Americans, that this is their homeland all throughout the eastern side of the park. So Rising Wolf's story starts with a gentleman whose name was Hugh Monroe. And Hugh Monroe was a French-Canadian who was sent out here at the age of 15 by the Hudson Bay Trading Company. So this was the early 1800s that he came out here, and Monroe was really gifted with languages. So they hired him. They needed him to learn the language of the Blackfeet out here so that they could barter back and forth between the Native Americans and the trading company. Well, he was really good at his job, really liked his job, lived out here at the Blackfeet for a number of years, and was taken in by a chief of a tribe named Lone Walker. So Lone Walker, if we're looking out of the boat, it's just slightly off our right-hand side. We've got this really big, prominent mountain in the foreground, and just to the right of it is a smaller triangular-shaped mountain with a lot of snow on it still. That's Lone Walker Mountain. So Lone Walker is the gentleman that took in Monroe and gave him the name Rising Wolf after many years of living with them and participating really bravely in one battle. He earned that name, Rising Wolf. And then Rising Wolf fell in love with the chief's daughter. Anyone have a guess as to who that is? Does anyone remember the name of the boat? Sinapa! Hey, very good job. So Sinapa was the chief's daughter, and Rising Wolf and Sinapa eventually married and lived happily ever after. But that is our mountain that's right out here in the foreground, the most prominent one that we're looking at. The name of our boat and the chief's daughter. So there's a fun story too in association with that Rising Wolf, when he, started taking interest in Sinapa, he wanted to go talk to the chief about it. But the chief had 2 grizzly bear cubs, or 2 grizzly bears, full size at this point, that he had raised since they were cubs. They had been abandoned. And they slept outside of his teepee and guarded his teepee. And anyone who wanted to enter the teepee needed the permission from the grizzly bears. So when Monroe tried to enter, the grizzly bears started growling at him. They wouldn't let him come in. So he eventually went around to the back of the teepee and got Lone Walker's attention. Lone Walker took him back out to the front, and what he did was he spit in his hand, and then he rubbed that hand on the snout and on the head of the grizzly bears. And that way the grizzly bears would smell something familiar, but smell something slightly different. And from that point on, Rising Wolf was allowed to enter inside the teepee. So, kind of a crazy thing to imagine, 2 grizzly bears sleeping outside your front door. He asked if the legends are semi-factual. Hard to know, hard to know. Definitely a lot of the stuff about the Native Americans, there's great fact to them. Yeah. Yeah. So looking out to the other side of the boat now, on our left-hand side, at about 9 o'clock for us, we've got a series of kind of three mountains, three little peaks in a row. That first one there is named Apastoki, and once again another Blackfeet name. But Apastoki was a little bit of a misnomer. So we had some settlers come out here, and on that mountain, they saw that mountain and they wanted to know the Blackfoot word for creator. They thought that was a really heavenly mountain. And they asked the word for it, and the word is a Pisatoki. So not quite Apastoki, which means, or the Pisatoki, meaning creator. Apastoki, its translation roughly it translates to saggy earlobes. So a little miss there, but it was very close. We understand what they're going for. So we got Apastoki, and then we're gonna come to that background. There's kind of a big basin with some red rock back there, a little bit of snow, and really jagged mountain in the background. That's Mount Ellsworth. And then we'll come back to the foreground here, this mountain that has the trees growing up nicely on that first slope, and then it drops back and has kind of what looks like a second peak behind it that's really rough and jagged. That's all considered one mountain. That's all named Never Laughs, after a really serious female chief of the Blackfoot clan. And then as we go one more over, there is one with a long ridge line that's got a lot of divots taken on the top, and it's got the most snow on it back there. That one's name is Grizzly, and that's due to its shape looking like the hump on a grizzly bear's back. So is anyone able to see a grizzly yet? Or a black bear? Any bear sightings? One hand. That's it? Oh man, we gotta find some bears for you guys. So, the last mountain I'll point out, and I'll come back to bears, that's Painted Teepee before we hit Cinema. So Painted Teepee looks a lot like a teepee, so it's pretty appropriately named. But grizzly bears and black bears. So we have both bears in the park. There's a number of ways to tell them apart, that hump being the best. Does anyone know a couple other physical things you can use to tell them apart? Paws, yeah. Yeah, that'll help. Grizzly bears are going to have bigger paws. The ears are slightly different. Yeah, and then their face shape is also slightly different. So black bears have more of an elongated face. Grizzly bears kind of punches in and then dishes out. Black bears have a more narrow ear, and grizzly bears are a little bit more rounded. And then grizzly bears definitely have those big claws on them. I've heard that the teeth are a little different too, but if that's what you're using to tell the bears apart, it does not matter. That bear is too close. So the hump is really the best way. That hump on a grizzly bear's back is an overdeveloped shoulder muscle. And they have that big overdeveloped shoulder muscle because they originated out on the plains. They're a plains animal, and they're big diggers. They still are big